I just watched Ezra's in the bag video, and he has like 35 discs in it, which seems just absolutely absurd to have so many discs for a professional player. I think you guys have talked about disc limits in the past, and I would not going to go as far as say 15 discs in the bag as a limit, but maybe like 20. I think you should do this because this way it will not only challenge players to maybe throw more unique shots with discs that they wouldn't normally do, but then also it would add a mental game of deciding which disc do you want in your bag for which tournament, and it would probably make it more change up the bags of players from week to week, so you're not necessarily seeing the exact same shots. Maybe some courses are more hyzer flips, some are just more hyzer fests and rollers. What are your thoughts on that?
So there you have it. Basically, just disc limits. He's saying he felt like Ezra's bag of 35 seemed kind of outrageous. So, what are the thoughts on putting a disc limit in place?
I love it. I love the idea.
Interesting. I actually thought you were gonna. I thought you weren't gonna like it.
No, I love the idea because exactly what he said. I think it would increase the imagination and the creative shot shaping for players. I think right now a lot of people can and I mean I have maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 discs in my bag that are like very specific for one shot. And I think he's right in thinking like it would be like a mental thing of like, okay, if we can only have 15 discs, like what discs am I bringing?
But then what happens if your overstable driver goes in the water?
Well, you might need to bring 2 then. If there's water potential, you might need to have you might need a backup.
That's where my head goes, because like obviously in golf there's a club limit and a ball limit, but the club, like if you bring a club that can accomplish a shot, I feel like you're not going to lose a ton of balls. I know you go through like every however many shots the touring pros cycle through balls for whatever reason, but you're still going to be able to hit your driver the same with all of those. Whereas in disc golf, like the disc is your club and your ball. So like if you made it 15, then like if you need X amount of backups for this disc and whatever, you might literally be able to carry like 3 or 4 molds and they all fly the same way, just to make sure that like, I don't know. That's my only qualm with it, is like there's some courses where, and there's sometimes where you just don't predict it. Like it just slides under leaves and you're like, thank goodness I have that other straight mid in my bag, because that one's gone for no reason. And it's like, I'm glad I was able to carry, I think if they put a limit, it'd have to be something closer to like 25 or something, where there's enough room for you to have backups, but nothing crazy over the top. Because there is a point where like it's almost a point of diminishing returns too for a player of like, why are you carrying more discs?
But yeah, at 20, if you make it 25, then I think that's why there isn't a bag limit, because if you do make it at 25, then there isn't. I think most people can figure out 25.
Well, maybe it's 20. I'm just trying to think of. It needs to be a number that's big enough that you don't have to worry about losing your disc, that like you only have one disc that flies like each shot you need, and then if you lose that one, your whole tournament's screwed, all because of this one little rule. Like that just doesn't seem. I don't like that in disc golf, just from that aspect, because like where it adds, as long as you have your whole bag intact, like USDGC would be the most terrifying course to attack, because you can't predict what hole you're going to lose what disc on, and so you need, like if you had to play USDGC and you could only have 15 discs. Like there's gonna be rounds where you might get to the final hole, and you're like, all I've got left is 3 putters and 2 mids, and like let's do it. I've lost. Well, no, 10 discs.
Each round you can It's not like once
I'm
lose
saying
a disc in one
I've played Winthrop Gold.
Back.
I've played Winthrop Gold. I'm talking one round. I might go from 15 down to 5. It could happen. Because you also have to think, like, let's say that you throw 3 discs. Let's say you lose.
That's a little outrageous.
Well, think of this. You got 2. You have an overstable fairway. For the best
players in the world.
Well, think of this though.
For the best players in the world, that's a little outrageous.
Think of this. You got 15 discs to begin with.
There's only a couple holes you can lose discs on.
Well, think of this though. Listen to this scenario. You got 15 discs to begin with. You got an overstable driver and overstable fairway. Those take up 2 of your slots. You get to hole 5. You throw your overstable driver to go over the water, it goes in the water. Okay, so now it's a headwind. Your only other disc that can accomplish it is the overstable fairway, but it doesn't have enough distance. So you try to pump up on it, that goes in the water. Because like now, you would have never put the second overstable distance driver in the water, but because you had to go down to a fairway, now that's in the water. So then you get to hole 6, and hole 6, you need that overstable fairway you just lost in the water. And so now all of a sudden, you got like your flippy fairway, and you're still into a headwind. So you're like, okay, so you throw it, cut roll, boom, water. Oh no, there's 3, just like that.
I understand it could get outrageous, so that's where I think it is. Like I would love to see, like in my world, it's like I would love to see to where you would have to get a little more creative, right? Of where you don't have all these, because I have, gosh, how many nukes do I have in my bag right now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 nukes in my bag, right? 2 are for forehand, 3 are for backhand. It would be a lot crazier if I only had like 2 nukes in my bag.
Yeah.
Because now, for me to get that same kind of shot shape, I would have to really adjust the angle of release on it. The thing is, I don't know what that number is, and it's like if you come up with the number, it's going to be either, oh, that's not enough disc, or that's too many, and that's probably why the PDGA is just like bring as many. If you want to have 4 caddies all with bags and discs, have at it. Just make sure you throw your disc in 30 seconds.
I wonder if there's a way that like you can have, maybe you could have like X amount of slots, like overstable distance driver, and then you're allowed.
No, that's too hard. That's too hard to keep track of.
That's the only solution I can come up with.
How's it work in golf? Is it just
well, it's easy. You only have 14 clubs.
You have a club limit, but you're not going to all of a sudden lose your driver in the water.
Yeah. There's not like a driver slot.
No,
right?
well,
no,
because there's 14
Some people
clubs.
Carry 2 drivers in their bag. Yeah, some people carry 2 drivers in their bag. Yeah, it doesn't work like golf because you can't lose your club. So in disc golf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could lose your club.
Well, yeah, I mean, guys do have like literally chuck their clubs in lakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just saw someone throw a club in the water.
This one guy broke his 9-iron and his 8-iron. So when he got to hole 17, this wasn't this tournament, but the island green on hole 17 for a lot of guys is like a flighted down 9. Yeah. But he broke his 9, he broke his 8, so all he had left was a 7. So here he is trying to hit a 7-iron onto an island green from 143 yards away. It was freaking hilarious. But I see what you're saying of where it can get out of control.